identify yourselves.
Oh, sure. Emily Valdez, KNX News. I think the first question that we all had, I want to get your reaction to the fire chief being dismissed by Mayor Vass and your thoughts.
Yeah, no, it's a personnel issue that the mayor has been dealing with. We work very well with our fire department partners. I worked well with the chief. That was a decision made at City Hall. A new chief has been named, Ronnie Villanueva. I've known him for probably 30 years. We also will work very well together. So I'm looking forward to moving forward.
Chief, I wanted to ask you about a question that came up by one of the commissioners there. Is there going to be any sort of review conducted into recruitment in light of the comments and
Yeah.
affairs?
No, thank you,
Are any
Lebo.
cases going to be reviewed?
Yep. No, thank you, Libor. I appreciate that. Yeah, the personnel department will be doing a biopsy on cases to be able to see if there was any adverse impacts based on what we're investigating now. So, troubling for everybody. We are digging into it from an investigation standpoint, from internal affairs, and the personnel department will be looking at the other issues.
Just a quick follow-up. In terms of scope, how many cases are we talking? Dozens, hundreds?
How many applicants?
How many applicants? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because the investigation will determine what span of time was involved with these individuals who were working there, and I don't have that yet. No, thank you.
Can you clarify too, because I've seen two different numbers, how many officers and what were their rank placed on leave?
Placed on leave. We have a lieutenant, a sergeant, and I believe 4 officers now.
Are they P3s?
Yeah, I believe they are. Yeah. And good.
Not a captain though, right?
I kept on an unrelated, but I guess you could say associated issue as well.
So with these many people placed on leave, how is recruitment within the LAPD right now? As I always understand it, you guys need officers.
We do.
Is this going to hurt recruitment? Is it going to slow down the processing of applicants?
Yeah, my hope there is, and that's a great question. We trained up another cadre of people to help supplement that group. My hope is we can now move them in to replace the group that we're moving aside and some of them assigned to home so that we can continue to process the people that are coming in the pipeline. We're fortunate in that we've seen an uptick in interest in the organization and in the profession, so we want to be able to help work with our personnel department partners so that we streamline the system and be able to, each of us, do our roles, keep people moving through the process, because the challenge for us has been that while we're getting a pool of people who have an interest, they've also applied to other organizations, and we've been slower than I would like to see us, and they get hired somewhere else before we complete the process.
One more question, how many officers are we down?
We're down to under 8,800 now from a high of a little bit over 10,000. So in a department that's already very lean, fully deployed, that has a big impact. And then, as you can imagine, with the deployment for the fires and the mudslides and the protests, that everybody is fairly fatigued. But I tell you, everybody pulling together, and with the loss of 21 of our people lost everything in the fires. The attitude they have in wanting to get back in and do their job was inspirational.
And you have the pay for 9,500, correct?
Yeah, budgeted for 95. We're hopeful to be able to maintain that as we go forward so that we're able to hire as much as we can, keeping the standards high. But as you know, that's a push and pull always with the process.
Chief, within the zone, if there's any federal government cuts to sanctuary cities, how is the LAPD going to be affected?
Yeah, we rely on federal and state grants to do our job, at least in part. Some of the the programs we have could be impacted on that. We're still waiting to see. We don't really have an idea what that's going to look like. It'll be speculative at this point. We're hopeful as we move forward that we can continue to work with the new administration to be able to focus on public safety issues and hopefully be able to work with them, maintain the grants that we have and the relationships that we have so that we can do the job As we move forward here in the next 4 years, we have a number of major events, as you know, coming to the Los Angeles region. And so we need to have the partnership of our partners at the federal and state level as well to be able to do that as safely as it can be done.
Good afternoon, Chief.
Hi.
I wonder if you provided comment about the letter shared during public comment today regarding.
Can you identify?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Leah Mendes, LA Times.
Yeah.
The letter regarding voices in the Scientology Church.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at that. I haven't seen the letter yet, but definitely want to take a read on that and then to be able to get more insight into the background of prior complaints and what's happened over there. Thank you.
Chief, another point that was made in the commission meeting, someone raised a question about whether license plate readers might be contributing to an increase in pursuits.
Right.
Is that a concern at all at LAPD? I know other departments were referenced, but
Yeah.
is that an issue here?
It's I don't know that it's been an issue as we're looking at it. It is certainly something of concern because we need to manage our ability to be able to do the job. We need to be able to pursue people who need to be pursued and taken into custody. But at the same time, we want to be able to manage what we would go in pursuit of. So just because you get an alert for a Code 37, as we call it, a stolen vehicle, if there's a way to apprehend that or stop that car without engaging in a pursuit, or to be able to get the appropriate resources in place so you have an alternative to a pursuit when the person stops, take them into custody or so forth, we want to be able to look at our tactics and our procedures moving forward. So all of these pieces of technology that we're able to use all create opportunities but also challenges, and that's one of them. Thank you.
Chief, there's a video of a biker that got attacked by teenagers.
Yeah.
What's your response to that? What's your message to the community and
Yeah.
to the parents of these teenagers?
Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, horrendous when you see the video. It is an individual driving down the street. My understanding of the case at this point, a number of 20 to 30 young people on bicycles got in his way, cutting him off, and then start damaging his car. He got out to confront them. I would not advise that people do that. Call 911 and we'll get our folks out there. When he confronted them, they all ganged up on him, knocked him down, and then really kicked him. And amazing that he wasn't injured worse than he was. But you know, an incident that just is a tough thing to watch, and something that I'm sure any parent who's watching this, if they think their kid was involved in this, talk to your kid. This is something that should not be happening in Los Angeles ever. But for kids like this to be going around, and in this case, and I reported in there that they've also been spotted at 2 separate 7-Elevens that same night. So we're looking for them. We take this very seriously, and hopefully we'll be able to have some in custody and be able then to continue the investigation and hold as many as accountable as we can.
So at the 7-Eleven, did they do a kind of a flash mob thing where they just went in and took stuff? Or?
Yeah, one of the 7-Elevens knew about the other 7-Eleven having these young people come by and lock the door. They didn't get into the second one. I am not sure what they did at the first one other than cause kind of chaos. I'm not sure if there was theft involved or what that looked like.
I noticed, and I've actually seen someone because I live in that area. They're riding these little pocket bikes.
Right.
I guess they're called. They're illegal.
Right.
I've actually encountered some of them doing some really crazy stuff. Just
Yeah.
links to them, and there'll be a few bicyclists in it. And I noticed in the meeting there were some of these pocket bikes too. Is that part of like the street racing task force or?
Yeah. Yeah, the Street Racing Task Force is definitely looking at that. The pocket bikes for parents out there, their young people have these small bikes with a lawnmower engine, no lights generally on them. We had a young person killed over the weekend that was on them, got hit by a car from behind. And so you look at what may appear to be fun, going out there and driving around on these things, also creates a hazard for the person driving it as well as others on the road. This, I think, happened at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the person was, I think, 14 or 15 years of age. And so, again, to the parents, you know where your kids are, and provide some guidance as to the dangers out there that exist.
Chief, just taking sort of a step back, you've been on the job for a few months.
Mm.
I know you're still waiting on the results of this grand study to come
Right.
back, but have you thought at all about your priorities for the department?
Yeah.
Do you intend to make any sort of changes with command staff?
Yeah, thanks. Great question. Yeah, when I came on the job, I said that for 3 months, my hope and goal was to just look, listen, see, and learn about the organization. I had been gone from LAPD for 15 years. Many things were still the same, many things weren't. So I wanted to be able to get up to speed, get to know the people in the organization, both sworn and professional staff, so that as we move forward, I would look at the organization to see we are configured the way we are based on 10,000 people being in the organization. We don't have that number anymore. So how do we reconfigure to be as efficient as we can be, and then to be able to know the individuals within the organization, the leadership, and to be able to put them in a role where they can contribute to the best of their ability. So all of that is still in progress. I anticipate it happening fairly soon, but I'd rather get it right than quick, and that's kind of been my thought there. We got set back a month with the fires and the issues that we had to deal with on an emergency basis. So yeah, I ask for our folks and for others who are interested for their patience, but it's something I want to be very deliberate about.
Can you comment on the ICE raids? How is your department dealing with ICE raids?
Yeah, we don't participate in ICE raids, as you call them. Where our role is very clear. We follow the state law, the California Values Act, and we have had basically the same policy since 1979, which is referred to commonly as Special Order 40, where we don't stop somebody to determine their immigration status, and we don't participate with ICE in arresting people for civil immigration enforcement issues.
Let's do one more question, please.
Everybody looks at me. I do have one more question. I was speaking with some people in a federal agency, and they're concerned because there are groups following the ICE agents and the other agents around, and there is some fear among the agents that they could be attacked. Would
Right.
the LAPD respond if they were to be attacked?
You know, like any other group, if we're called out to keep the peace for any situation, that's our role and responsibility. In this case, we wouldn't participate in immigration enforcement, but certainly if anybody's being attacked in the street, it's our job to get out there and prevent that from happening. Thank you all very much.